Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Golden Jailene. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be an overview of my Anastasia palettes and like how I feel about them and which one I like the most. Now take what I say with a grain of salt because makeup is so personal. How I feel about a palette may be completely opposite to how you feel about a palette. I never was interested in buying Anastasia palettes before because they were limited edition, and I don't know, back in the day I just like wasn't really into buying things that were limited edition. I would only buy things that were permanent. When the Modern Renaissance palette came out, I knew I had to have it, so this was the first one that I purchased. I've used it so much, but I take such good care of it. I do not want to use it up because I know I'm gonna have to buy a new one, and I've heard mixed things about the palettes that they've come out with today. I bought this like probably 2 years ago, and I've heard that the ones that they have now, the formula is not consistent. I love every single shade in this. I don't really have any problems with it. Normally, I'm not the biggest fan of palettes that have a lot of mattes, but I love these shadows. A lot of people say that they're powdery. I mean, they are pretty powdery. I noticed that when I bought it. I noticed if I put the brush in the pan, it would leave like little dents from the brush. I'm gonna zoom in. I was gonna say you can really see it on Golden Ochre, but you can honestly just see them on all of them. I don't think it's quite picking up on camera. I might just take a picture of it with my phone or something. You can definitely see it on my phone, so I'm just gonna insert a picture like right here. There is fallout, kick up. I don't care. I'm not that aggressive with my eyeshadows, so for me it's like normal for eyeshadows to be like that. I really don't mind it. I also really like the brush. I'm not the biggest fan of the packaging. It gets really dirty and gross. I mean, it used to be really pretty and pink. This velvet, it just gets so linty and like it collects dust, and I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan. So the next one I bought was the Subculture palette. The infamous Subculture palette. Mine works perfectly fine. The only color that is kind of difficult is Cube, but I can make it work. It works for me. I find it to be pigmented. I have no issues with it. I just need to like layer it 2 or 3 times, and I don't mind that, but I love this. I was so worried that this was gonna be awful because I saw all those reviews with all the fallout, and I was worried like, what if I tap slightly and the entire thing breaks? But no, that's definitely not what happened. Maybe it's just my palette. Mine works perfectly, and I love this because of all the colors in here. These colors are so unique. I have never seen a palette look like this before. Also, this seems to be the one that gets the least dirty. Like, I mean, I say that. I really, really, really love this one. I don't have any issues with it. And the next one that I have is the Prism palette, and this one gets like the most dirty because it's black. I mean, you can't really see it on camera. I love this one as well. I think this one is amazing. Again, the only shade I have an issue with is Lucid. I do have to like layer it a few times, and it's like slightly chunky, but I don't mind. Every single color in here is beautiful. I love all of these palettes. Now, which one is my favorite? I can't answer that question. I love all of them, and would I repurchase any of them? I would actually repurchase all of them. I do not have the Soft Glam palette because I felt like that one was way too neutral. It's like your personal preference. I do not like the Soft Glam palette. I swatched it in store, and I just thought it was too much neutral colors for my liking. I have a bunch of neutral palettes, so I just decided not to pick it up. But I love this because there are so many warm shades in here. I love warm toned eyeshadows, and I also love colorful shadows. Now, I do prefer shimmers, and this one has a lot more shimmers than the Subculture. So, like, yeah, I do prefer shimmers over mattes. I don't know, there's just something special about each one, and some people say that these have the same exact shades, and I mean, they have similar shades, but they're not identical. A lot of people say that Roxy and Eden are identical, and they are not. They are slightly different. You don't need both, but one is definitely brighter than the other. Same with Dawn and Unity. Unity is a lot more yellow, Dawn is a lot more pink, and I feel like Dawn's a little bit darker. Fudge and Parallel are definitely different too, even though they almost look identical. Again, with this one does not have that much fallout. Modern Renaissance has a lot more fallout than this one, and the brushes on all of these to me work the same. I like the brush. Some people think it's too scratchy. I think it's a pretty good brush. Some people say that these shimmers are hard to work with. I love the shimmers on this palette, but if I had to pick one out of all 3 of these, I think it would be the Modern Renaissance, because technically the pinks, the reds, the oranges are pops of color. Like, in my opinion, that's not neutral. Some people would consider that neutral, but I consider that color. I feel like you can't go wrong with the Modern Renaissance one. I know that the Subculture and Prism is not everyone's cup of tea because they do have a lot of color, so that's why I would have to say that the one that I do recommend is the Modern Renaissance. And if you are more into not as warm tone shadows, if you're more into like more brown shadows, then I would definitely recommend the Soft Glam palette. Even though I don't have it, I have seen it in store, I've swatched it, and that's why I didn't buy it, because I developed my opinion just by looking at the colors, but I know that that could probably be a lot of people's cup of tea. So yeah, that's it for this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed hearing my opinions on the Anastasia palettes that I own. I'll see you next time. Bye!